Hey guys, Kirk here from ACIDBITE, and we just brought out a brand new pack called Dissected Textures, and I'm here to show you how to use it. So the first thing that I want to mention is that I'm going to be doing most of this tutorial in Premiere Pro, but that's okay because you can just follow these steps and it doesn't matter if you're using LumaFusion or Final Cut or pretty much any other editing software. The way you use these assets is going to be the same for all of those programs. So, as you can see, I've already got a timeline set up here with 2 clips, and when you download this pack from our website, you're going to see that it has the tutorial, which I'm recording right now, in a folder, and of course you have all of the different assets. Some of these are overlay assets, and as you can see, some have alpha information. So all you need to do is grab this folder and drag it straight into your editing software, and importing is as simple as that. So inside of this assets folder, you're going to see all of these different textures that we created. This is like a really bold and grungy style of texture pack. We used a lot of real world elements here, like stone and metal, leather and crumpled paper and things that we scanned and printed and scanned again. And some of these are going to be a little bit more subtle, like this one right here, and then some are going to just be super grungy and in your face. And then guys, for each different file here, we have a recommended blending mode written into the name of the file, so you can see there's like difference and multiply and things like that. I think that each of those is a good place to start, but we also really recommend you playing around with different blending modes, because all of these assets are going to react very differently depending on the mode that you choose and depending on the footage you have underneath. So let's actually do some experimenting like that together right now. I'm just going to grab one and put it on the timeline. And I just want to mention real quick that a unique piece of sound design comes with each of these assets already attached. So you don't have to bother looking around the internet or trying to find free samples or whatever. Every single asset will have one of these. But anyway, the recommended blending mode on this clip is difference, so let's just choose that and see what that looks like. So that already looks pretty crazy, right? But you'll see that if I move it over here onto this brighter footage, it's instantly going to look completely different. So you can see how important it's going to be to experiment. Let's also choose a different blending mode this time. I'm going to go with screen, and I'll just put it over both of the clips here. So you can see it's having a different effect on each of them, right? And it'll do a completely different effect if I choose color dodge. And now we have a whole nother look. So it's all very grungy, and I can only recommend again that you just click through the different blending modes. Depending on your footage and depending on which texture you're using, you know, you can get thousands of different variations of looks here. So let's have a look at another texture now. Something a bit different, more subtle. Yeah, this one's more subtle. I'm gonna grab this one, and because you can see that there's a lot of black on this asset, we're gonna use screen because that's gonna remove the black and make it transparent. Yeah, so I think you get the idea, right guys? I mean, there's just tons of opportunity there. The other thing we have in this pack though are these alpha assets. And what you can do with these is just drag them straight onto the timeline again. Use them as a transition, right? So we want to just find the point where we want to line it up. And let me choose a blending mode real quick. Do difference. And you can see that these shots will actually transition in and out, which is pretty cool. So that's sort of the simple and easy way to use it, and that's a cool effect on its own. But another thing you can do is actually make a little sandwich here with 2 different shots, and you're going to use the animation to transition one shot into the other. So let me just choose a different blending mode real quick. And so in Premiere Pro, this is how you need to use it. You need to go and search for the effect track matte key, okay, and put that onto the footage that you want to transition to and then out again from during the animation. So then you want to go into your effects controls to the track matte key and select the video layer that the dissected texture is on. So that's video 3 in our case. And let's go and just check that that's all working. Yeah, so that's perfect. It's set up correctly, and you can see how it wipes in and out to this other shot during the course of the animation. Now, depending on your asset that you're using, you might have to reverse the shot, but you'll be able to tell that when you're watching it back. So one other thing to note, guys, is that when we set up our track matte key, the texture disappeared, right? We only had the masking animation. So I'm duplicating that texture again, and now it's back, and then we can still continue playing around with the blending mode to get whatever version of the texture you want. And now let's just preview it one more time with everything. Okay guys, so from this point on, I'm gonna switch over to Final Cut because some softwares do it a little bit differently. I think Final Cut, After Effects, and DaVinci will all do the way that I'm about to show you. But again, to start, I'm just going to grab that asset folder and drag it over into the project. So I've got all those same textures in here again for me to play with. I'll just grab the same one as before. I'm going to drop it into the timeline, and again, I'm going to make this little sandwich, right? So I'm putting the shot that I want to see during this little animation on top. So I'm going to select the clip, my dissected texture first. I'm going to come up to blend mode, and this time I'm going to choose Silhouette Alpha, okay? Then the clip that's on top, you want to come and change that blending mode to behind. So that's working perfectly, right? But just like in Premiere, all we've done so far is create that alpha layer masking animation, but we actually need to duplicate our texture again and bring that back to the very top of the stack. And this time we can just play around with the blending modes and use anything, so let's try difference. So yeah guys, it's exactly the same process that you would use in DaVinci, the stacking of these layers. I think in DaVinci they call the behind blend mode is actually foreground, and the same in After Effects. But if you're not in Premiere and you're not using the track matte key, then do it like this. So guys, have a lot of fun with this pack, play around with it. It's super grungy. I hope it brings a lot of attitude and mood to your films. We love seeing what you guys do with everything. Thank you so much for downloading. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.